Hello, this is Mr. Bacon Bits, and welcome back to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This video shows where all Autobuild schematics can be found and the parts they require. Autobuild utilizes nearby parts that fit the schematic you choose, and any that don't will just use Zonite. Listing the parts required will help eliminate the usage of Zonite. There are 12 Schema Stones developed by the Zonai that can be found, and 34 Yiga Schematics. The Schema Stones all contain valuable schematics you might use consistently, while the Yiga Schematics may not be as useful. Regardless, this is part of completion, so I'm here to cover it. First off, Schema Stones. The majority of these are found in the depths. There's a construct at each place labeled as an abandoned mine that will give you a Schema Stone. Here's the map for them all, as well as the two up on the surface. I'll first go in the order you may find them in with the main quest and following the Master Koga side adventure, before covering the rest. If you see an extra star on the depths map, just ignore that one. I forgot to take it down, because it's for one of the Yiga schematics. The first one you will likely acquire is at the Great Abandoned Central Mine, located beneath the Great Plateau. It's where you get the Autobuild first, after all. This one contains the fan plane, made with a wing and 3 fans. The second one you're likely to get is over on the surface. After obtaining Autobuild and returning to Josha at Lookout Landing, she'll give you another Schema Stone, this one containing the hot air balloon schematic. This one contains 2 parts, a balloon and a carriage that you cannot obtain normally. Before moving back down to the depths, might as well cover the other one found at the surface. Heading back to the Shrine of Resurrection where you first started your journey in Breath of the Wild, you'll find a hidden passage past where the Resurrection Chamber used to be. Down here is a construct that will give you a Schema Stone featuring the Beam Cycle schematic. This uses 2 small wheels, 2 wooden beams, a steering stick, and a beam emitter. For these next few ones, we'll be following the Master Koga side adventure. His next stop is at the abandoned Gerudo Mine, and after defeating him, a construct there will give you a Schema Stone for the hovercraft, which uses a fan, a sled, a steering stick, and a light. This is useful for traversing the sands. The next stop for Master Koga is abandoned Lanayru Mine. Once he's defeated, claim the Schema Stone here for the Bolt Boat schematic. This uses a sled, a fan, a steering stick, a couple pieces of wood, and a shock emitter. Great for attacking seafaring enemies. Master Koga's final stop is the abandoned Hebra mine down the chasm beneath Rito Village. The Schema Stone acquired here is the rocket platform, which uses a rocket, a hover stone, and a battery. Useful for quickly gaining height when needing to climb, like, say, a cliff. This one is at the abandoned Eldon mine. This Schema Stone has the automated ally schematic. The parts this uses are a homing cart, a construct head, and a flame emitter. Great for building an army to attack enemies with. This one is at the abandoned Terry mine. The Schema Stone here has the instant cannon schematic. It uses a stake and 2 cannons. Pretty simple, and excellent for mining through caves. This one is at the abandoned Kakariko mine. The schematic is launch pad, using a long stone slab, a spring, and a wooden panel. Great for launching yourself across fairly short distances. This one is at the abandoned Hateno mine. The Schema Stone here contains the bridge schematic. Very simple, it's just 6 stone slabs. Unfortunately, they're items not easily found. This one is at the abandoned Lorelin mine. This schema stone is for the dirigible, using a square stone slab, 2 balloons, 2 torches, and 2 flame emitters. The reason for the torches when the flame emitters are there is so that it lights the torches and keeps the dirigible floating without using battery. Pretty neat. This last one I'm showing is at the abandoned Karakara mine. This one has instant scaffold as the schematic. Uses a bunch of stone slabs so that you can use ascend and reach higher places that ascend wouldn't normally reach. So with the Schema Stones taken care of, next are the Yiga Schematics. Since there's a lot more of them, I'll just explain how to get them so I can rapid fire what they are. Yiga bases are scattered all throughout the depths and each contain one schematic. They are behind a magic sealed door, so in order to break the seal, you need to take down the Yiga that have the same seal surrounding them. Now with that explanation out of the way, starting from the top left, this schematic is the excavator. This uses 3 large wheels, a Yiga spike trap, a metal panel, and a steering stick. This is actually kind of useful for digging through rocks and caves, though a more expensive construct. This one has the floodlights schematic. It uses a giant wooden panel, a stake, and 2 lights. It's okay? Maybe it could be attached to something else? Hidden here is the Whirling Basham schematic. This uses a stake, 2 large wheels, and 2 boulders. It's an okay attacking construct, especially if you trap your enemy. At this base is the Sprinkler System schematic. Uses 3 hydrants, a metal rod, and a stake. You don't really need to water anything except for cleaning the sludge of Zoro's domain. This one contains the fishing trawler schematic. This uses a fan, a steering stick, 2 square wooden panels, 3 long wooden panels, and a shock emitter. This is actually really good for ocean fishing, highly recommended. The schematic here is Cargo Carrier. This uses a wooden panel, 2 wooden beams, 2 wagon wheels, a small wheel, and a steering stick. This would have been fantastic if it had little walls to keep stuff from falling out, though I guess you could just stick them to it. Over here, the schematic is Bomb Bouquet. It's just 4 bomb flowers stuck together. It's nice for setting up a bombing run. The schematic at this one that I ended up getting accidentally is Flamethrower Balloon. This uses a large wheel, 2 flame emitters, and a balloon. It's an interesting construct, but is not very good at lifting yourself up. The only spot where you can stand on is the wheel, and it might fling you off. Over here, the schematic is All-Purpose Raft. 2 large wooden panels, 6 wooden beams, a portable pot, and a sail. Yeah, simple raft, honestly. Added bonus of being able to cook 1 time without it catching on fire. This base has the instant scaffold schematic. Uses 5 square stone slabs and a stake. You can stick this to the side of a cliff if needed, such as if rain happens. The 3-wheeler schematic is over here at this maze of a base. It uses 3 large wheels, 3 long metal panels, a light, and a steering stick. Pretty nice vehicle to use. Over here, the schematic is for the smoke rocket. Uses a rocket, a time bomb, and a puff shroom. Odd little weapon that you can launch at enemies and cause a smoke screen effect. At this water base, you can find the fan boat schematic. This uses 2 large wooden panels, 2 wooden beams, 2 fans, and a steering stick. A tad bit extra for a basic controllable boat, but it works. Over here is the raiding plane schematic. Uses a wing, a cart, 2 fans, a battery, and a flame emitter. It's useful for doing air raids, but needs something more long-range than a flamethrower, I think. A steering stick would have been nice, too. The schematic found over here is the shock trap. Uses a large metal panel, 4 long wooden panels, and a shock emitter. It looks like it's a little bit too high? It doesn't exactly trap enemies either. This one over here has the beam turret schematic. This uses a beam emitter, construct head, and stabilizer. It's pretty much a sentry. The schematic over here is vertical escape. This uses 2 time bombs and a spring. Not sure what's special about this other than damaging enemies as you spring away. I guess that's it. This one has the monocycle schematic. This uses a small wheel, a stabilizer, a steering stick, and 2 lights. You see Yiga use this a lot down in the depths. Kind of a fast little vehicle, too. The stabilizer keeps it from tipping over. This water base has the water freezer schematic. Uses a large wheel, a square wooden panel, a wooden beam, and 2 frost emitters. I guess it's used to freeze the surrounding water for reasons. Ice cold water is very dangerous, so being able to move on top of it would be nice. Over here is the beam spinner schematic. This uses a large wheel, a hover stone, and a beam emitter. Interesting usage of a beam emitter, causing a rave party. The initial hit of the beam does do the most damage after all. This schematic over here is the liftoff glider. A wing and 2 rockets is all you need, a very simple construct. Would have been nice to throw in a steering stick and a fan too. This over here is the scatter trap schematic. This uses 2 dazzle fruits and 3 muddle buds to stun and confuse enemies. Pretty nasty trap. The tank schematic can be found over here. This uses 4 large wheels, 2 batteries, a steering stick, a construct head, a cannon, and 5 metal panels. This beefer of a construct can cause some extensive destruction. If only Link was covered, then it'd be a true tank. At this base, you can find the Super Spring schematic. This uses 3 springs and a stake. Pretty useful for reaching new heights, but if anything, this teaches you that more springs attached to each other increases the height gained. Assuming you didn't find that one shrine that teaches that. This base contains the Icebreaker schematic. Uses a flame emitter, homing cart, a spike ball, and a wooden beam. You know those large blocks of ice found in cold regions? This helps break them much more easily. Yeah, that's about it. Over here is the Instant Kitchen schematic. Uses 2 square wooden panels, 2 long stone panels, a stake, and a portable pot. Really extra for an instant kitchen, even if wanting to use it as a cliffside thing, which is what I'm assuming the stake is for. The schematic over here is the Rainmaker. Uses a hover stone, a rocket, a large wheel, a battery, and 2 hydrants. Make it rain! Definitely useful in the Muktarok fight. This base has the triple cannon schematic, a metal rod, a metal panel, and 3 cannons. By itself, it's good, but stick it on a vehicle and you're golden. Just don't steer into the explosions. Over here is the big rig schematic. This uses 2 Yiga spike traps, 4 large wheels, a steering stick, 2 metal rods, and 5 metal panels. Use this as a battering ram and you're winner! The wagon schematic can be found over here. That's it. It's straight up a wooden wagon you can find in a lot of stables. It's actually kind of useful. Instant wagon without warping to a stable, as long as your horse already has the towing harness on. This schematic over here is the headlight raft. Uses a pre-built raft platform, 2 lights, a steering stick, and 2 fans. Fairly efficient. This base has the assault cart schematic. This uses a cart, a rocket, a steering stick, and a Yiga spike trap. Yeah, it's basically a high-speed battering ram. Over here you can find the charged charger schematic. Uses a homing cart, a hydrant, and a shock emitter. Water helps spread electric currents, and wet enemies are more susceptible to electrocution, so yeah. And finally, you can find the aerial cannon schematic here. Uses a hoverstone, a rocket, 2 batteries, and a cannon. Very helpful to set up a bombing drone on an enemy base. That is all the auto-build schematics you can find in the game. But with 8 favorite slots, what can you come up with? This has been Mr. Bacon Bits with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. And I will see you guys on the next video.